high-profile crackdowns in the San Francisco Bay Area and Los Angeles, it appears ICE, or the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, is following through on its message to the Golden State that it better hold on tight after declaring sanctuary state status. It all comes amid a backdrop of political tensions between the White House and California. Tonight, ICE is facing accusations that it's using raids as a political tool for the Trump administration. Joining us now for his response, Acting ICE Director Thomas Homan. Great to have you with us, Director.
Thanks for having me.
You seem to not be worried about being in the middle of controversy when it comes to these issues about the raids, about enforcement, and the backlash you're getting.
I don't mind being, I'm not running a popularity contest. I wouldn't be in this job. I mean, we're enforcing the laws enacted by Congress.
Well, that's something that I know that many people think that the previous administration had a different take on the way to handle that.
Exactly. The last 8 years, we weren't allowed to enforce the laws that are on the books. We're relegated to a very small portion of the laws. And this president, even though people say he created a bunch of executive orders, he could have written them in one sentence. You will now enforce the laws enacted by Congress and you've taken an oath to enforce. That's what we're doing.
Okay, you made a lot of news when you did another interview here on Fox back in January, and you told California, which had become a sanctuary state essentially, they better buckle up, that you're going to have enforcement there, that you have a vested interest in making sure that the influx that you believe California will get from human smugglers and others who are attracted by the sanctuary state status, that only means that you're going to have more work and your agents are going to have more work to do there. You know, a lot of leaders in California didn't take kindly to that. I want to read a little bit of a letter from the two U.S. senators from there, Feinstein and Harris. They said, "We're very concerned when we saw a Fox News interview on January 2nd, 2018, where you said California better hold on tight. And if local politicians don't want to protect their communities, then ICE will. This statement is dead wrong and insulting. Nothing could be further from the truth." They went on to close that letter saying, "Diverting resources in an effort to punish California and score political points is an abhorrent abuse of power, not to mention a terrible misuse of scarce resources." Your response?
Well, if these senators are really concerned about my scarce resources, then they would let me back into the jail. I mean, they argue I have scarce resources, which I do, but one officer used to be able to sit in a county jail and process 10 criminal aliens a shift. Now when those county jails release those 10 people to the street, I got to send a whole team out to find these people. That's a danger to my officers, because now we have to arrest somebody not in the safety and security of a county jail. We got to arrest them in their homes or place of business where they have access to who knows what weapons. It takes a lot more agents to do that. So, I didn't think these senators were in the, talk about scarce resources. I didn't think these senators are in the business of enacting laws they didn't want enforced. I'm enforcing laws they enacted.
I would guess that particularly Senator Feinstein, who has had over the years a chance to vote on some of these laws in Congress, probably didn't vote for some of these enforcement mechanisms. But that said, they are worried about the perception of immigrants. They say that when you have these raids, you're going to scoop up all kinds of people, then they're not going to cooperate with law enforcement. How do you respond to that pledge of theirs?
If that's really the concern, that can help me. For a couple of things. First of all, we don't conduct raids. We conduct a targeted enforcement operation. We don't go in neighborhoods knocking on a bunch of doors looking for people different than us. Every person we arrest, we know exactly who we're going to arrest. We know exactly where we're going to arrest them based on a lot of intelligence, a lot of investigative work. So those folks that want me to really concentrate on the criminal aliens, then let me in the county jail. If you're worried about my scarce resources, if you're worried about me concentrating on criminal aliens, you can't say that, then not let me in your county jails. I mean, you're talking out two sides of your mouth on that, right? So if you're really concerned about that, let me in the jails. But what the officers are doing, let me explain to you what these policies have really done, because sanctuary cities like to say they're protecting the immigrant community. There's nothing further from the truth, because if I can't arrest a bad guy in the safety of a county jail, then I got to go to his home, or I got to go to his place of business. That's an officer safety concern. Number two, when I go to that home, I may find others that weren't even on my radar that now I have to take action against. So, and thirdly, they're releasing a criminal alien back into the communities. The very communities in which they live are the communities they victimize. So what have they done to immigrant communities? They put them at further risk of criminal activity, because the criminals are going back to those communities. Two, they put them at greater risk of ICE arrest, because when I'm out there arresting the bad guy, I may find others. And thirdly, they're enticing further illegal entry. When these smuggling organizations in Mexico and Central America hear about sanctuary cities, you don't think they're using that as a selling ploy? Look, we'll get you to San Francisco for this much money, and you can even get arrested for committing a crime, and we're not going to work with ICE. They are bankrolling the very criminal organizations that have killed my officers and killed Border Patrol agents and smuggled guns and drugs in this country. It makes no sense. And when we talk about sanctuary cities, I'm not asking the local politicians or the local police to pull somebody over and ask immigration questions. I'm asking for them to allow a federal law enforcement officer in your county jail to put our hands on somebody who's here illegally and committed yet another crime. These people are sitting in a cell. The local and state authorities arrested them, put them in a jail cell for some reason. Either they're a public safety threat or they're a flight risk. So why not give me access to these people when you're done with them, rather than releasing them back in the community to reoffend against those very immigrant communities? Let me do my job and take action on putting them in front of an immigration judge. That's all I'm asking for.
Well, and those are questions we would love to hear from Senators Feinstein and Harris in answer to what you've brought up today. They're always welcome on this program. Director, it's great to have you with us. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.